Story 1. My health is improving, I am aging well, and I feel energetic. I enjoy physical activities without getting tired or injured when carrying heavy objects. Story 2. Something Marcus Aurelius said is, "It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable." I do this mainly to feel good about myself and to try to age with grace. Story 3. I realized about 5 years ago that at my current pace I can retire in my mid-50s, but health-wise I wouldn't be able to enjoy it. That year my son wanted to do ziplining on a cruise stop, and I was too heavy for the only option he qualified for based on his age and weight. I dropped 50 pounds in 3.5 months so we could zip line together, and it was the best decision for my health. I cycle a little these days depending on how my multiple sclerosis is doing, but from my peak, I am currently down nearly 70 pounds. I have been gaining a little muscle this summer and hope to tone up a bit this winter with a free weights regimen. I'm committed to this as enjoying retirement is much more realistic in my current state of health, and I can actively envision it as I create my bucket list of places to go once I am no longer tied to work. Story 4. When the motivation isn't there, I remind myself that I want to look good for her and feel good for me. Story 5. I compete in bodybuilding and previously participated in powerlifting. It's a great way to spend a few hours each day working hard and focusing entirely on my goals. Story 6. I'm 42. Certain exercises give me a good stretch and some pops so I don't hurt as much. I also want to ensure I'm as strong as possible in old age, so I can enjoy it beyond being spoon-fed food while the news or an audiobook plays in the background. I want to be able to lift up my grandkids and great-grandkids if the Lord gives them to me. Story 7. I had a pulmonary embolism in 2022, which involved 2 large blood clots in my lungs. What kept me from dying? Being physically active. Thanks to cardiovascular exercise, instead of being unable to breathe, my lung capacity was only reduced by half. I thought I had erectile dysfunction, but I just needed more cardiovascular exercise and healthier ways to manage stress. Story 8. To get back into reasonable shape and weight, COVID-19, among various factors, caused me to lose my fitness. I am trying to return to a reasonable level of fitness and weight. Story 9. Looking better. Lifting things becomes easier, and stretches won't hurt you. Higher libido, stronger erections, and more intense orgasms are best achieved with cardio and leg exercises such as squats and deadlifts. An improved mood. Increased assertiveness and a more carefree attitude. Greater confidence. Reduced brain fog and enhanced concentration. Many professional gamers state that exercise is essential for achieving good results in competitive gaming. A dedicated time and space to listen to music, relax your mind, and focus on yourself. Increased energy, which may seem counterintuitive, but it's true, only if you maintain a balanced diet. There is no reason not to exercise. It can transform your life if you commit to it and eliminate junk food, including trans fats, sugar, and simple carbohydrates. Story 10. I want to be strong, fit, and capable, and I want to maintain as much of that as possible as I age. I also want to look great. It feels good to look in the mirror and feel confident about myself. Story 11. I honestly dislike the gym most of the time these days. I have been doing it for almost 15 years and reached a high level in bodybuilding, but I have burned out from the industry. Unfortunately, I cannot stop now. Story 12. Mental clarity and relief from muscle aches. My muscles are always tense, but when I work out, they get a good stretch. A byproduct is physical appearance. Story 13. 1 point for mental health. I work out until everything that bothers me seems trivial compared to the workout I just completed. This perspective makes it easier to deal with those issues in comparison. Story 14. To avoid gaining weight, I am a pilot and it is very easy to be sedentary. If I don't work out 4 to 5 times a week, I also cannot enjoy my favorite hobby, which is cooking. Story 15. I have many reasons. It began with vanity. I was 350 pounds and simply tired of being overweight, a person that nobody wanted to be around, regardless of gender. I started losing weight because I wanted to be attractive and go on dates. I wanted to be popular and get invited to events. I wanted to smell good and have the ability to enjoy outdoor activities with my friends. About a year into my weight loss journey, my dad had a heart attack in front of me. I drove him to the hospital. He survived, but he informed me that heart disease doesn't just run in our family. It sprints. He is one of 8 siblings, and all 8 have had heart attacks. 3 of them died from heart disease before I was born. This event prompted me to focus more on health and longevity. I train with cardio to maintain heart health, but I also began lifting weights and building muscle to avoid weakness and pain as I age. Later, I went through a difficult breakup, which became a time of meditation and peace. It felt like the only aspect of my life I could control. It was the only time of my day when I could put on headphones and simply not think. No conscious thoughts at all. Now, I buy and sell weights and gym equipment on various platforms, and I have been using that income to pay my rent for a year. If I'm not at the gym, I'm restoring and moving weights at home. This endeavor has become everything to me. It pays the bills, keeps me sane, maintains my health, and helps me stay attractive. The gym and fitness in general have become the foundation on which everything else in my life is built. They have given me purpose and motivation for the future. My next goal is to become a personal trainer and open my own private studio, equipping it with all the gear I acquire through buying and selling. Story 16. So that when my daughter is a teenager, she is not impressed by someone who can bench press over 200 pounds. Story 17. I'm watching my 77-year-old dad struggle with the complications of his weight, including back and joint pain. This experience is motivating me to focus on my health. I've lost 25 pounds. Story 18. My mom would have one less thing to worry about. I weighed 375 pounds and struggled for years. I couldn't do it for myself, but I would do it for my mom. I love her a lot, and that was more than enough. Right now, I am healthy at 220 pounds. My current motivation is to continue to feel better about myself. My secondary motivation is that I want a cute, fit girlfriend. Story 19. Health. I keep losing weight due to stress. Working out at the gym is the only way I have found to stop this. Story 20. Health, both mental and physical, is important for longevity and the hope of experiencing few to no ailments as I age. Mobility is also essential. Most personally, I want to try wrestling at a professional level and need the strength and endurance to create the level of artistry I aspire to. Story 21. Keep my weight down. Maintain muscle, as it is natural to start losing 3% muscle mass each year after a certain age. The fitter I am, the better my sexual health. Story 22. Touching 40, my younger self from 2002 wants a body to be proud of. I need to fulfill the promise to myself before it's too late. Story 23. I want to be one of those fit grandfathers in my 70s who can travel without worrying about my mobility. Story 24. At this point, I feel worse when I don't prioritize my health, both physical and mental. I also want to look good, as it can help to stave off aging. I am in better physical condition than many of my peers. I often hear from people in my age group about feeling weaker or experiencing pain, such as back issues and aches. Fortunately, I do not have those problems. I may feel a bit more tired than I did when I was younger, but I feel as strong or stronger than I have ever been in every aspect. My joints do not pop or feel sore, and I generally feel good. Story 25. It feels good to be physically fit, which I neglected for a while due to a desk job and poor diet. At 40, taking care of my well-being is increasingly important. Story 26. Dad passed away at 62 due to a stroke while having high blood pressure and diabetes. I want to live longer than that. Exercising also plays a significant role in my mental well-being. I am a completely different person who makes better life decisions on days when I work out compared to days without exercise. Story 27. My mental health has improved. I've noticed that I am sharper and less depressed when I maintain a regular exercise routine. Story 28. Early 20s training for the military. Mid-20s military training. Early 30s vanity. Late 30s mental health. Early 40s physical health to be strong and healthy for my children. Story 29. Health reasons. Diabetes runs in my family, and I do not want to develop it. I went to see my doctor for an annual checkup. and he said I was pre-diabetic. Therefore, I need to change my diet and start working out. Here I am. Additionally, my mother passed away from diabetes complications 5 years ago. Story 30. Stress relief is important to me. If I don't work out a few times a week, I begin to feel stressed and become short-tempered with people. Story 31. I started because I was physically weak. I am stronger than before now, and it is good for mental health too, so I enjoy doing it. Story 32. Physical and mental health are important. Working out really helps boost my mood and focus for the rest of the day. The physical benefits are a good bonus. I'm becoming stronger and noticing definition. Story 33. To fit into the clothes I like. I started working out in college because my favorite shirt no longer fit. Story 34. Keeps me mentally sane and also helps me stay in great shape. Having a six-pack in the summer feels good, and I can bulk up in the winter. Story 35. There are many reasons, but the biggest is that I like the way my body looks. The possibility of living longer and healthier is a great bonus as well. Story 36. In order. 1. I have had body image issues, and this has helped. Mental health. It helps me stay active, feels good, and I truly enjoy watching myself achieve feats I was not capable of before. It is also proof that despite my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, I can form habits with enough determination. Utility. Being strong is very useful at times. Story 37. Long, active life with my children keeps depression at bay. I work in emergency medical services and have a fear of becoming obese due to what I have witnessed. It feels great to have significantly better physical capabilities than my older, sedentary self. Vanity. Story 38. My health, both physical and mental, is important. If I neglect it, my physical and mental health deteriorate, which is unfortunate. Taking care of my health also feels good. Story 39. I was bullied a lot as a child, so I decided to learn mixed martial arts to defend myself and my loved ones, and to help anyone in need. Story 40. Every year, I compete in the Wildflower Triathlon against my 16-year-old nephew. It is becoming harder to win as he continues to improve his speed. Story 41. Looking good is important, but now that I am 45, I am more focused on my overall health. I feel better than I did before when I didn't work out or care about what I ate. Story 42. I want my wife to think I am attractive. It feels good to challenge my body and its capabilities. Story 43. 1. So I don't have a heart attack at 50. I have a better chance of surviving cancer. So I can keep moving if or when I am 99. I see too many elderly individuals in my job who can hardly move, and I do not want that to be me. Story 44. Nothing matches the feeling of accomplishment after finishing a workout. It helps you stay disciplined in your daily life. Exercise is beneficial for your body, and you will remain happier and healthier for a longer period, assuming you maintain a healthy diet. Story 45. Happy mind. Good hobby. Feels good physically. Looks good, helps confidence. More energy. Better sleep. I'm not very serious about it. I work out a couple of times a week with no specific schedule. It mostly scares me to imagine not being able to do something because of my physical health. Story 46. 1. To fit into my old shirts again. Now that I fit in them, I want to fill them out more in my biceps, chest, and shoulders. To enjoy eating and drinking beer with fewer consequences. To increase stamina for hiking, walking, and all physical activities in general. Story 47. Makes everything I do easier, including chores, auto work, and drinking. I know healthcare support will either be too expensive or non-existent by the time I am older. I need to strive for independence for as long as possible. Story 48. To prevent major health problems as I age and to make physical tasks easier on a daily basis. Story 49. Men in my family seem to have heart attacks at a young age. Combined with the fact that it is the only thing that helps with my mental health, it feels like something I need to do. I also enjoy it. Story 50. The primary reason is to stay as healthy as possible for as long as possible. Developing the habit now, while I am still relatively young, will help me to consistently move my body and maintain my fitness, which I hope will continue into old age. The second reason is to have a functional level of strength and endurance for practical purposes, whether I need to lift something heavy, run quickly, hike long distances, or handle other physical tasks. Story 51. I have some damaged nerves in my back from my time in the Navy. A sedentary lifestyle makes it worse. Exercise and a reasonably healthy diet lower the pain from severe to mostly just uncomfortable. Story 52. I practice a sport that requires a decent amount of strength and conditioning. Getting slammed into the mat with another person on top of you never feels good, but it feels much worse if you are out of shape. Story 53. To be bigger than you. But really, it's because it gives my life structure and I find it enjoyable. Additionally, having a strong, capable, healthy body is a nice bonus. Story 54. I am a former smoker and I'm trying to reclaim my lungs. It also helps with anxiety and gives me a sense of accomplishment. I am looking to date for marriage, so I want to be attractive. I'm ready to leave my troublesome 20s behind and be intentional in my 30s. Story 55. I like to work out in the mornings on weekdays from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I find myself more active at work, and I feel mentally better. I also want to be a fit dad for my kids. Story 56. I start feeling sluggish if I don't stay active. I've heard that exercise is good for mental health, and that's enough for me to at least try occasionally. There have been periods when I was consistently lifting weights and training daily while eating healthily, and other times when I just ate fast food and napped. I'm not sure if it's genetics or something else, but I honestly don't believe my physical appearance changed much during either of those phases, which seems to be a common motivator in this discussion. Feeling active and flexible helps me stand taller and walk lighter. Simply feels good. I don't need to build large muscles or achieve a very lean physique. I don't want to spend all my time in the gym, and I enjoy indulging in food, but being active is a healthier lifestyle. Story 57. At this point in my life, I prioritize aesthetics, health benefits, and mental well-being. Feels good to look good, and it feels good to feel good. Story 58. When I was younger, I aimed to be muscular and in shape to feel attractive. Now that I am in my 40s, I focus on maintaining my health and body weight. Story 59. Mental health and physical health, along with being strong and fit, are not about vanity. It is more about enjoying control and being able to shape my body. Story 60. To stay in shape and maintain confidence in my abilities, as well as for mental health, I practice combat sports to defend myself and others. Story 61. A strong body fosters a strong mind. Discipline your physical body before you attempt to discipline the subtle mind. Story 62. I want to be strong. When you stop focusing on superficial things, you surprisingly put more effort into developing the willpower to keep going to the gym. It isn't about looking good. It's about being healthy, being strong, and being capable. Those are the things that I want. Story 63. Mental reasons, such as wanting to feel more powerful, confident, and self-respecting, are important. However, how can I respect myself if I feel like a weakling? Additionally, it is beneficial for both mental and physical health. Story 64. I started to notice that I couldn't do certain activities as easily as before. Story 65. I lost my dad at 17 due to diabetes, heart disease, and kidney failure. I promised myself I would never put my children through watching me get sick and slowly pass away from poor health. 60 pounds later, I focus on my mental health as well as my confidence. Story 66. It is a productivity hack. It takes me 1 hour and 30 minutes to feel like I had a productive day, and it is great. I am very focused on productivity, so if I do not want to feel guilty for eating poorly and playing video games all Sunday, I just have to go to the gym. Story 67. I like how I feel afterwards. I started because I felt weak. I do not want to become huge. I want to stay as natural as possible, but I do want to get stronger and be healthier. I want to be able to move around comfortably in my 60s and beyond. Also, I would be lying if I said I did not want to look better. But mainly, I focus on the health-related benefits. Story 68. To be stronger, I am a soldier, and running fast while carrying weight on my back is an everyday requirement for me. I feel that I need to be stronger to be of more use on the battlefield. Story 69. First, it was mental health, then it became a way to pass the time, then it became a focus, and now it's because I find it fun and a source of stress relief. My girlfriend also likes the results, which is a big positive. Story 70. I don't have free time. It's already filled to the brim. Instead, I practice playing bass and guitar and occasionally record. With the type of music I create, that is considered a workout on its own. I should probably start exercising, though, as there is a noticeable difference in size between my left and right arm. Story 71. I don't work out as much as I would like due to my schedule, but I engage in physical activity for my mental well-being and to improve my physical health. I feel much better overall when I do. Story 72. 3 main reasons. 1. Overall health improvements, both mental and physical. I have insomnia, and exercising helps with my sleep. To look good for my wife. She will see me without clothes for the rest of our lives, so the least I can do is make it appealing. Story 73. 2 main reasons. First, my overall well-being. I was overweight for most of my life. I lost 70 pounds 15 years ago and have mostly kept it off since then. Second, my children. I had children later in life, so I want to be around for them in good health for as long as possible. Story 74. 1. My wife and child want me to be here for them as long as possible. Mental well-being. I am not the best version of myself if I do not engage in physical activity every day. Nutrition. I enjoy eating, and exercising allows me more freedom regarding what and how much I can eat. Positive feelings. The workout feels rewarding, the fit of my clothes feels great, and striving for improvement feels fulfilling. I used to weigh 282 pounds. I am now 173 pounds. This approach works. Stay committed. Story 75. A third place, strength and flexibility along with a solid foundation as I get older. Going without a belt has improved my posture, and I do not experience any pain even if I am on my feet for 14 hours. Story 76. Mental health is important, especially in challenging situations. I would rather be in shape and prepared for emergencies than out of shape and vulnerable. I want to be able to respond effectively and fight back with all my strength when necessary. Story 77. Mental and physical health are important. As a software engineer, sitting for long periods can negatively impact your back, neck, and metabolism. Story 78. I'm a better father, brother, boyfriend, and friend when I'm in shape. There are 168 hours in a week, and dedicating 5 to 8 hours a week isn't that hard for me personally. Story 79. 1. To be in good shape for my children. Mental health. To look better for my spouse. Possibly to lose weight. Story 80. As we age, our testosterone levels naturally decline, leading to a loss of muscle mass and strength. Regular exercise, especially strength training, is one of the most effective ways to combat this natural decline. It helps maintain muscle mass, boost metabolism, and improve overall health, allowing us to stay active and vibrant as we grow older. Story 81. You feel tired and sluggish when you don't exercise. Sore muscles remind me that my muscles are getting stronger. If you do it consistently, you will look good without a shirt. Story 82. One time, a strong guy gave me a thumbs up after I struggled to complete 1 repetition of a dumbbell fly. He really motivated me. Honestly, I do it for my mental and physical health. I took the easy route in my 20s and ended up addicted to prescription pills, overweight, and generally unhappy with myself. I was sick of it. Now, in my early 30s, I go to the gym, blast music in my headphones, lift weights, and enjoy building myself up little by little. Story 83. My night job as a serial killer requires a lot of heavy work, such as dragging bodies, digging graves, chopping up limbs, and wrestling stubborn victims. Being strong really helps. Story 84. 1. My confidence is poor, so it helps to make me feel okay. I enjoy being strong. The pain in the body silences the pain in the mind. Story 85. I was admitted to the hospital because of a possible cardiac arrest. However, the doctor could not determine what exactly was wrong with me. Going through multiple medical checkups opened my eyes to how I take my health for granted. Story 86. I am in my early 40s. It is important for my mental well-being and energy levels. I also want to maintain my strength and the ability to do the things I do now for as long as possible as I enter my 50s and 60s and beyond. Story 87. I believe it is our duty as humans, not just men, to take care of our bodies to the best of our ability. Yes, exercise is challenging and staying in shape is difficult. However, it is equally, if not more, challenging to be out of shape and weak in today's world. Story 88. To be left alone for an hour or so. I am middle-aged. My marriage is in a rough place. I never understood why men sit at bars for hours, but I think I get it. However, I don't like to drink. The gym is always open late, and I don't have to talk to anyone. There are also health benefits and stress relief. Story 89. I just don't like being attacked. That was my reality, so I started lifting weights afterward. I also tend to speak my mind. Story 90. Ink dinner selective existence different reach gold plucky whole square. Story 91. To improve my health, I find that exercise distracts me from negative thoughts. I feel that I look good immediately after a workout. Story 92. So I can still move around when I'm older. I have to do something or my back and everything will start to hurt. I'm not young anymore. Story 93. Once I work out, I gain a lot of energy to complete my tasks. I feel ready for the day. Additionally, it keeps me healthy and enhances my mental well-being. Story 94. It is strange that this question keeps getting asked frequently here. Story 95. Mental and physical health are important, as is being strong, fast, and enduring. You never know when these traits might come in handy. This is a half-hearted attempt at becoming more attractive, along with elements of masochism and self-hatred. Story 96. I love it and find it absolutely fun. Additionally, there are extra benefits such as improved health, enhanced appearance, increased self-confidence and self-respect, greater attraction from women, and the opportunity to meet new people. Story 97. Me at 3 a.m. I'm going to be the strongest my bloodline has ever created. Me at 10 a.m. Workout equals strength. Strength equals power. Power equals options. Options equal opportunities. Me at 5 a.m. Looking in the mirror. I look good. Rinse, wash, repeat. Then I take that routine and don't apply it to dating because I don't talk to girls. Story 98. To look attractive enough that I would even be appealing to myself and to boost testosterone levels. It is always nice to feel the masculine energy. Story 99. To look good naked. I started by focusing on getting stronger, which then became a way to lose weight along with dieting. I lost 70 pounds, and now my goal is to look good naked. It is important to have goals. Story 100. I started seriously working on my health about 2 months ago. I changed my diet and eliminated many bad habits. I have lost 15 pounds so far. I look better, feel better, and sleep better. Story 101. The number one thing is being flexible with your body. The feeling when you can pull your body, run, and jump makes you feel free. It's not the same feeling when you are overweight. I have experienced both sides, so being in control of your body is freedom for me. Story 102. I like to eat. My meals are relatively healthy, except for the occasional indulgence, but I enjoy my snacks a bit too much. I'm not in perfect shape with low body fat, but it would be a lot worse if I didn't work out every day. Story 103. My 12-year-old niece told me, "Uncle, you are fat and ugly. I can't do much about the ugly part, but I have to fix my shape." Story 104. To feel good, both mentally and physically, is important. The fact that people notice and comment when your body looks nice is also a significant benefit. Story 105. I don't know if this is a valid reason, but I genuinely have no idea why. I just go to the gym, work out, and come back home. Story 106. To look good naked, along with the added benefits of better sleep, improved mental and emotional health, and increased longevity is quite nice. Story 107. don't want to look saggy when being affectionate. But seriously, it's mostly because I was addicted to fighting games. Story 108. To lift more, to get wider, to get bigger, to get better, to gain the respect of my peers, to not fit through doorways, to have the police dispatch refer to me as a well-built male. Story 109. I just started working out again. I love going to concerts and participating in the mosh pits. However, I'm getting older and less fit. I realized that with all the upcoming shows I plan to attend, I would be out of breath in the pit in about 5 minutes. So, I've been focusing on cardio. Story 110. There are several reasons: to hold back the hands of time, to avoid developing a beer belly, and because I dislike my body like Dr. Cox. Story 111. Being delicious. My time to myself allows me to eat whatever I want. Additionally, drinking plenty of water is a win-win for me, and I tend to notice people who do the same as I do. Story 112. I was a career firefighter in a busy location. It was a very physical job that is hard to explain. Reputation and reliability with my peers were paramount. For those reasons, I had to work out even before day one. Now, I can continue eating like a 20-year-old. Story 113. I want the ability to do just about anything and look somewhat stylish doing it. For example, you might want to ski, play basketball, go paddle boarding, and engage in various activities. Yes, I do. Story 114. To not feel inadequate. Ensure my dog is properly exercised. To feel confident in my abilities if they are ever needed. Because it feels good to be strong, fit, and resilient. Intimacy is better when you are in shape. Story 115. To like what I see in the mirror and have a chance with girls, since my face doesn't help, is followed by health. Story 116. I have a sense of control over my life. I imagine my routine would be exactly the same if I were in prison. Story 117. To look good naked in bed for my wife. To look good in nicely fitted clothes. To be strong and have energy for my child. For sharing photos online. Story 118. It's a habit from the army, although not as intensive, but still regimented. I walk, run, swim, ride, and do calisthenics throughout the week. Eating healthy is the key. It has to be a part of your life. I tend to stay away from salt and sugar, and while I eat junk food once a month, I mostly consume plenty of vegetables and fruits, and I primarily drink water and tea. Story 119. It used to be simply about looking good naked. But now that I'm older, it's more important to be functional into old age. Story 120. To look good. When I look good, I feel good. When I feel good about myself, my confidence improves, and everything is better as a result. Story 121. Ego, health, and future quality of life. Ego was my primary focus, but now, at 46, I prioritize my future quality of life. Story 122. A flat stomach and the dream of one day having abdominal muscles. It feels like a distant dream because I enjoy food too much to lower my body fat percentage sufficiently. Story 123. I strive to be fit, strong, and confident. I grew up feeling self-conscious because I was teased. Now I feel better. I also go because I need to be capable of protecting my family. I cannot be a weak father. Story 124. I was tired of being overweight, so I took a chance, and it paid off. Now, I continue to work out to build muscle and maintain my body. Story 125. I want to be capable of defending myself against anyone who bothers me. I also want to be able to lift someone in case an emergency occurs. My friend joked that I could bench press him. Story 126. Body dysmorphia can affect anyone, and I aspire to be the best-looking 45-year-old one day, especially when all my friends have beer bellies. Story 127. So I don't need a walker or medication to function as I get older. I would also like to be functionally fit in general. Story 128. I started because I wanted to look better, but it quickly turned into something much more. It genuinely makes me feel good about myself, and I have never had something that did that for me before. Story 129. The reason I work out is to avoid going to gun shows and rating firearms by how they feel in my mouth. Story 130. Longevity involves maintaining muscle mass, increasing bone density, and reducing the chances of developing cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. Additionally, it provides the benefit of looking and feeling better, which enhances mental well-being. Story 131. I refuse to accept the decline at 38. I mainly do it for a sustainable work life. If I can lift 35-pound weights with ease, I maintain a manageable work life. I'm not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger or use substances for a brief period. I aim for longevity. I wire houses for a couple of builders in their late 70s who still care about their work. They just don't stop. No time for decline. I'll work out and remain healthy and alcohol-free until I die. The pact was made at 35, sealed by determination and strength eternally. Story 132. I want to feel confident when I interact with people. I do not want to feel self-conscious about how I look. I do not feel the need to be huge. I just want to be fit. Story 133. I physically cannot get out of bed if I don't. Additionally, I went to summer camp with my son and outperformed several older boys in a dads versus kids activity. Story 134. I don't lift weights or go to a gym, but I do exercise daily. I had a health scare back in March that led to back surgery. I never want to reach that point again. Story 135. To maintain optimal health and to be physically capable for my loved ones and myself, it is important to stay physically active. Story 136. Currently, I am working out to lose weight, as I want to improve my health. While exercising, I notice benefits for my mental well-being. I feel more confident throughout the day. Story 137. To experience that adrenaline rush and release my anger as if I'm in a firefight in the middle of Kandahar, I am working towards joining the Special Weapons and Tactics team. Story 138. I don't do it near frequently enough, but it's a great stress reliever. I'm participating in a Spartan sprint in May, so now I have something to work towards. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.